Okay guys, this is Tom here, and this is a project I told you about on my live stream where I have to remove all the toggle switches off of the sidings, and because you can't turn on and off DCC track if you have block detection on it. So the only ones I don't have to worry about are the ones up there on the turntable, because they don't have block detection up there on those tracks. So those can be done, no problem. Because what happens is when you turn off the track, of course, that it's dead, that's fine. But when you turn it back on, it sends 14 volts down to the track, and that triggers, well, I'm NCE, so I'm using BD20, so that triggers the BD20s. So what I do is I pull out this, I use a screwdriver to pry it out before, and then I cut off the wires. There was 4 wires on that. They're hanging over there. I have to go underneath the layout to get to that one. And then what I do is I clean up all the wires on this, and then I stick it in upside down. The circle is supposed to be on the bottom. That's off. So I put them in upside down so I know I did them. And so I got most of them done. I just have 2 more to do. These are all done. That's done. They're all done. There. I just have that one up there to do. It's upside down because I cut the wire. The wire goes up over top of the subway system, and underneath and back behind there is where the BD20 is. And this one here is up in there. The wiring is on the other side of the fascia over there. So I got to get back behind there to do those 2. They're the last 2. So as I'm doing them, I take all the wires and disconnect the extra wires, and then I run the feeder wires back through to the bus line and to the BD20, and it's done. It's only 2 wires. We got 1 wire on one's rail, let's say the red wire. The red wire from the rail on the track goes to the bus line. The black wire, this is my standards, the black wire goes from the rail then through the BD20, and then to the bus line. So that's how they're all hooked up again, and that means they'll always have power on the track now. So got them. All the LEDs on the bumpers light up when I reconnect them. I had one where I had a solder joint on the track that got loose somehow, and I resoldered that yesterday. Couple little things here and there that you have to deal with sometimes. But then I uncovered another issue that is puzzling, because what happens is once there's track power to this, then on my JMRI screen, let's say for the yard, you'll see one track is red here, and all the rest of them are green or gray, whatever the colors are. And that means this track was triggered for some reason. But there's nothing on that track. Okay? There's nothing. The only track is 120. This is 120. That has my car carriers on it, but they don't have resistors on the wheels, so they should not trigger the track. Now, what happens is then once I get it powered on and the lights are on the bumpers, I then put a engine or a car with resistor wheels on the track, and it should trigger the BD20. But it wasn't. And I go, what's going on? Because I looked at the panel and it didn't light up. I'm going, what's going on? So with the car off of the track, or the engine off of the track, I went to the NCE AIU 01 for that particular block, and that port that the BD20 is plugged into. See, I know which block it is. I know where AIU 01 it goes to, because this is the JMRI sensors table, and there's all my BD20s. And then I put a comment in here of what AIU 01 and its port. So like BD20 121 is in AIU 0158 port 6. So I can go to 58.6 and see if what's going on there. Well, when I went to look at it, the LED was on. So that means it was triggered. So I don't know what the heck was going on. How can it be triggered if there's nothing on the track? So I contacted NCE via email, since I can't call him still, and he replied back to me, and then he told me a couple of things which I didn't understand. I replied back to him, and then he told me that on the BD20s you can get a pot, P-O-T, and put it on there, and then that pot has a screw, like a plastic screw on it, and you can turn that and turn down the sensitivity or turn it up, whatever. Now, here's a BD20 right here, and right here you'll see 3 holes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 holes there through the light. That's where you solder the pot onto, because the pot has 3 legs and they'll fit. Now, he gave me a part number and everything from DigiKey. I went on the DigiKey site to look up the part number, and that part number is no longer made. But they had a newer version of it, so I sent that to NCE, and he said, yeah, that's okay, use that one. And so I ordered, I have 25 of these that have this situation. I don't know about the other 2 there yet. I haven't tested them yet, and I'll explain something else in a minute. But so I ordered 25 of them. It was like they were less than $1 a piece. Came to less than $25 to order them all, with the shipping and the tax and the stuff like that. So they didn't ship it out yet. I don't know when they're going to. I ordered it yesterday. Today is Friday. I'm videoing this, and you'll see this on Saturday. But I ordered it on Thursday, and they'll probably ship it out on Monday or something. So we'll have to find out. So I had, as you can see, wires are hanging down. I had to drop all the wires down. So then he said, how are your wires run from the BD20 back to the AIU 1? You could be getting interference from other wires, and they're all in this cluster of wires here. See, all these black and white wires are BD20 wires. Well, I can't run them individually across the layout separately. That's nuts. So if that pot thing works, then good. But if it doesn't, then I got a bigger problem. And I don't know what else to do. These are twisted, and that's what he said. They need to be twisted. But they're in the same cluster. And these are all pushed up so they get tighter with the zip ties and everything, right? So I was thinking maybe of putting them in something like maybe I can 3D print a tube, and I would have to make a ton of them, because what's funny is I got BD20s all over the place on this layout, and none of these are having problems. This siding here, it has the problem. These two here have the problem, and the yard in the lower level has the problem. The tracks have nothing on them except for one track does. There's an engine on that track, but that's a DigiTrax decoder in there. I don't know. I think you have to give it some a throttle to get it to power on. So I'll take that car off the track and see if it works. But I was doing this all with the system on, so that I could check the track to make sure that when I plugged in the wires, the LED on the bumper came on, then I knew there was track power, because all the bumper LEDs are soldered onto the track, and they won't light up if there's no track power. So I did that, and each one, and I only had one short once. I had to flip the two wires. The other test I'm going to have to do is a polarity test, because I just put the wires together, and it doesn't mean that the polarity is going to be correct. So I'll have to just run an engine in off of all these tracks to make sure that everything is good. So, like, I think this is a block here. This is a block here, and then once it gets past the turnout, it's another block. So, and this is a separate block off of the diversion track. This is a separate block here. And the whole idea of making the sidings a block was I was going to put resistor wheels on all the cars, and then if there's cars in those sidings, they'd be lit up. And that's the whole idea behind this. So I know I have cars on that siding, or in the in the industry or whatever. So this is what happens. Now, I was working on this late last night, and then I turned off the system. Now, I hadn't turned on and off the system at all yesterday when I was doing this. So when I turn the system back on again, one of two things are going to happen. Either they're all going to go red again from being turned on, or they're not. Then I'm going to have to go and look at the AIU01s and see, like underneath here, there's an AIU01. It's hard to see with all the wires, but there's one right there, and that was one of the controlling the yard. So, and you can see the LEDs are on or not. So, the first couple I did, was in ports 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'll look at that. If they're still on, then I have to wait until I get the pots. If they're not on, then maybe just a power reset, a power on and off may have done it and cleared it or whatever. So I'm not sure. Like, I have some cars on the Helix, okay? And this one here was behind these two tank cars laying here, and then I closed the door here the other day, and it vibrated, and then they rolled all the way down to here. So at least I know the wheels are good, because these older cars, I had trouble with them keeping on a track, but it rolled all the way around and it would move pretty quick and stuff. So I have them up there. I'm going to start preparing to put them in their spots. Like, this goes up by the roundhouse. There's a siding up there where they get put. These 4 tank cars, they go to the refinery. And then these 2 here go in the yard, where there's that lower tanks, oil tanks up there in the yard. And then this is a scrapyard load that goes back to the scrapyard. And then I got all these cars down here to get back on the layout and stuff. So there's a lot of things I got to get, put back in place and stuff. And we'll see. And like this train here is the only one that doesn't have resistor wheels on it. All these cars, the last 2 cars do. One's a Sound car and the other one's a Fred car. But I got the resistor wheels on order. The guy, he said he's going to make them today, over the weekend, and he'll ship them out on Monday. So maybe at the end of next week, I'll have all the resistor wheels I know I need. Oh, crap. Oh, good. Yeah, all the replacement ones I can put on those 4 cars. Right. Yeah, I forgot to, when I was adding up all the resistor wheels, I forgot about those 4 car carriers up there. But I gave them 12. I gave them. I had 12 resistor wheels that weren't working, so he's going to send me another 12 with the order that I put in to replace the ones that don't work. It's funny, the resistor wheels, when you test them, they show the 5K ohms, but then when you put it on a track, it doesn't light up. And if I push down on it, it lights up. And that doesn't make any sense. So when I made mine with the resistor wheels on it, I put down and it just laid on a track and it lit up. So that's how it's supposed to work. So something's not right there, and I don't know what's going on. So he's going to send me replacements, and then I'll take care of those 4 cars. And then all my rolling stock will be resisted, have resistor wheels on them. So that's good. Then when I get a new one, I'll either try making them again or whatever. Now, the passenger train doesn't have resistor wheels on it, but what I might do is put LEDs in those cars eventually and go from there. So we'll have to wait and see what I want to do with that. The only reason I decided to do the resistor project, like I told you guys, I had a Fred car at the end. It was in a different block, and it was flashing on the screen, on and off, on and off, on and off. So anyway, I rambled on enough. So I'm going to continue working on this. I was pulling wires, and I grabbed the wrong one. And this one here pulled out of the connectors underneath, and it was for these LEDs. So I gotta put that back together. It's the same color, same kind of wire I used for the push buttons, and I thought I had the right one. I was pulling it, it wasn't coming, and I yanked it because I thought it was tied up in something, and yeah, it was connected to the thing. So I got to figure out which one get connected to which wire. It's 4 wires there. Got to play around with. 2 is for the one light and 2 is for the other light. So I'll figure it out. So that's it. I'm gonna probably come back later with the rest of this project about the push buttons, and I'll show you what's going on if the LEDs are on or off and stuff like that, and we'll see. So this is Tom. We'll catch you later in the next one. Take it easy. Bye. Please stand by. I will be right back. Okay guys, I'm back again, and I made some progress. I was working with NCE, and we both couldn't figure out anything. And one of the things that he suggested was the wires should be like not in the cluster because it could interfere with the other wires. So you see this dangling wire here that I did. I took it out from underneath here. It was all in there, and I ran it down around along here and hooked it back up to the AIU01, which is up in there. And here's the BD20 hanging there, and connected it all back up, and the light on the BD20 or on the AIU01 came back on. So I then emailed the support again, told them that that's what I did, and he replied back, well, I don't have anything else for you. I don't know what to tell you. So I said, okay, I'm at a loss now for what to do. So just as I was doing that, I said, okay, well, let me finish up the last 2. Remember, in the other session, I told you I had this one to do and 23 up there. That's 23, and that's 37. And I did 37 first, and you can see the red light on the bumper. And then the panel lit up, the track was active. That's this track right there. That's that track going back and forth to the scrapyard. And so I said, okay, the same thing happened. So 23 is on this panel, and I believe it's 91, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta do more research to find out what that is. So I started doing 23, and I traced all the wires. I had to come on this side. I was working back there behind layout, getting the wires. Then the BD20 is in the middle here, so I came out here. It was easier to reach those wires. You see those 2 wires dangling down there with the connectors on them. I don't know if you can see them right there where my finger are. There's one there, one there. And so I hooked them up, and the bumper didn't light up. and I looked at the wires, and then the bumper wires weren't connected to anything. So when you take this, so those wires were never soldered to the track. All the new ones I was putting in, I was soldering the LED right to the end of the track. That way, as soon as the track power came on, it would have power to light up the LED. So I said, okay, let me leave this off. I'll solder this on later. So I came over and I looked at the JMRI panel and I said, hey, it's not on. And I looked at the AIU 01 and it wasn't lit up. And I go, a light bulb went off in my brain. Because I remember when I was bouncing back and forth with emails from the NCE support, you get an email and there's a lot of stuff you have to read between the lines and everything. And I said, wait a minute. We talked about all the other different things, but I remember him saying an LED on the track could trigger the BD20. So I'm going, oh, okay, let me test that theory out. So what I did was, I unsoldered the LED from the one leg of the LED. I just took that off and the light went out. So then I went underneath the layout and looked for the AIU 01 for this block, and the LED went out. It was on before I unsoldered the light. It went out. I went over to the JMRI panel, and that's this track right there. That's number 59. That's that track there. So, if I put this car on the track, this car has resistor wheels, if I can get it on there. It's hard to do it with one hand. Okay, it's there. We go over to the JMRI panel, and 59 is now lit up. So that tells me there's a car on that track. Okay, so that's how it's supposed to work. So, problem solved. So now what I got to do is go around and disconnect all the LEDs on the tracks, and then figure out another way to power them up. So I think those LEDs have resistors in them. So if I can connect them right to the bus line, because the only time they're going to be on is when the system's on. So that's another thing I'll have to do, is I'll have to probably make the wires longer, drill a hole, and connect them to the to the bus line. So I'm going to need a bunch of T connectors. There's 25 of them, bumpers, I think, something like that. I don't know exactly how many I have, but I think there are 25 of them. So it's good news. So now I know what I have to do to fix it, and it's not going to be that difficult. And like I think, like that track up there for that back and forth train, there's 2 LEDs on that track. So I'm going to take them 2 off. I'll do them first. There's a LED on that bumper back there. I gotta take that one off, and then all them there, and all them down there, these three here. I don't. Yeah. So a bunch of them I have to do that on, and then I won't have this problem. So it's like 8 o'clock on Saturday, and I finally figured it out. So I've been working on this thing for like 3 or 4 days, and this took me to now. So I said that in this other session that I was going to have this out on Saturday, but I think I'm going to push it out on Sunday. So that was that. And I'm working on my other switcher, the decoder from SoundTraxx came back to me repaired, and it works. The lights on it work, and I figured out what happened the last time. And then I talked to SoundTraxx, and what happened was that their diagram is incorrect, and that's what led me to the problem. So they're gonna. I sent them a picture of the diagram that I was looking at. It's the one that comes with the decoder. It's incorrect. And I said, I used to work in electrical engineering, and I used to work with electrical diagrams all the time, and it had to be accurate, and it wasn't. It had a wire connected to another wire, and that's not the way it is. So they're going to fix it, and for later decoder things. So at least I caught it for them. I can't believe nobody else noticed that, but you never know. So that's it, folks. So I'll get this, and then they should be all operational. And then, like I say, I got to figure out what I'm going to power them to, the LEDs on the bumpers, and we'll go from there. So this is Tom. Everybody have a great day, and we'll catch you all in the next video. Everybody take care. Thanks. Bye. Please stand by. I will be right back. Okay, guys, just one more update here. I did a couple other tracks by taking off the LEDs, and they're working. Like, see that track there? I got the engine on it, and that car has the resistors. And that's on the panel there, number 24. So that's lit up. 59, I showed you that before, that's lit up. 154 is not working. I gotta trace the wires in the morning. I can't do it at nighttime, it's too dark here. The other session I told you about this here light. These wires I pulled out from the connector. I got them back on now. So it's green. It means the turnout is straight through. So that's good. And this got more to do. I don't know how I'm going to get to them there yet. I haven't figured out those yet. But these here will be easy to do. They're up there. I got a couple over there, some back there. I just did these two tracks a minute ago, and this here caboose car has a light kit in it that I designed, and it's lit up now, and that's the only one of them all that have that kit, and that's lit up. So that's registering the track, and that's on the yard panel, and that's track number 131 there. So it's coming along. It's now 11 o'clock on Saturday evening, and I think that's it. I'm going to call it a night. So that's it, folks, and we'll get this video out, probably put it out up on tomorrow, Sunday, and then it'll be available for Monday. So I'm not going to work on it now. It's still too late. So everybody have a great one. I said that in the last session, but here again, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment. I appreciate the comments. Everybody have a great day, and we'll catch you later. Bye. Okay, thank you for stopping by. Please hit the like button and leave a comment. We'll see you all soon.